Welcome to Sweethearts or Rivals. I'm Charla.
I'm Justin.
What's on our table today?
5 tribes. The Jinn of Nakala.
Really?
Yep, the cool. Jinns of Nakala.
5 Tribes is a game you can play with 2 to 4 players.
Yep.
They recommend ages 13 and up.
Mm-hmm.
It probably will take you about 40 to 80 minutes.
Yeah. And
it is published by Days of Wonder.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the game, show you how to play it. There should be links up here to our playthrough and our review.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we'll switch the cameras around
start
to set up.
All right. What's in the box?
Let's see what's in this beautiful box here. Some player aids.
Yep. Rulebook.
Rules. Some bits and baubles. Some player colors. I like pink. Can have that one. There's a nice score pad.
Yes. Lots of pages in the score pad too, which is nice.
And in a 2-player game, you each get 2 of these pawns.
Yep. So that means in a 2-player game, you have to play blue and pink.
That's okay with me.
Okay.
And then you have a bag full of meeples. And all these pieces. Tiles.
Okay. This is the round order and bidding tiles.
Your gin.
The gin.
Oh, we kept our scores.
Yep.
And the market cards.
Yep.
And then there's just the money left.
Right on.
I made a good mess.
It happens. That does that, yeah.
Okay.
The money's in 1s and 5s, but when you look at the back, you can't tell what's what because they all look the same, which is awesome.
You can keep your score secret.
Yep.
Because money is points.
That's right. So we're going to set up the game.
And we'll be right back.
Yep. Alright, so we got the game set up for a 2-player game. In 5 tribes, what you're doing is you have all of this desert land. This is the board, and it's really nice because the tiles go out randomly every time, so it's going to be different every game. And what you're doing is you're trying to take these 5 different colors of meeples, or these 5 tribes, and you're trying to reunite them. Yay! In order to get points, so that you become the next, I believe, Sultan of the deserts. Ooh. So, how you win basically is you have these coins. You start off with 50 of them, so you actually start off with 50 points right at the beginning of the game. Woo! And at the end of the game, you're going to get points for your coins. You're going to get points for the gin that you've taken over. You're going to get points for controlling land. You're going to get points for the different kinds of tribes. You're going to get points for sets of goods. And you're going to get points for owning land that has these...
palaces.
Thank you, palaces.
Or palm trees.
Or palm trees. And you count up all these points, and whoever has the most points is the next Sultan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What's the lady Sultan called?
Sultaness.
Sounds good.
So how you set up is you got all these tiles, and you're going to lay out your tiles 6 wide and then 5 down. And they just put them out, and they're random. You'd think that these tiles would either be have a similar backing so you could randomize them, or maybe be different, but they're not. Whatever you see here on the front is the exact same thing on the back, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, they could have optimized the randomness if it had a little bit more variability.
A standard back? Oh, you mean if you had...
backs.
I got you, yeah. That makes sense, yeah.
There could have been...
twice as much replayability by having a bunch of different tile backs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It is kind of weird that the front and back are the exact same.
It's okay, though.
Yeah, it's okay. Once you lay out the board, what you're going to do is you got this great big bag full of meeples. You randomize them up, and you put 3 out on the board.
On each square.
Yep. You take the gin cards, you shuffle them, you put 3 out. You take the goods cards, you shuffle them, you place out 9. In a 2-player game, each player is going to start off with all 11 camels and $50. Then what you do is you take this nice, convenient empty bag, and you put these in it, and you give it a shake. You reach in, and then this is going to be the first bidding order.
That's me. That's me. Don't be mad and knock him over.
Who will be the last person? Yeah, that's
We don't know.
Alright, so that is the setup, and then you're going to have this handy dandy little player's aid here. On one end, it's going to have bid for turn order, player's actions, what each of the tribes do, what each of the tiles do, all that kind of stuff. And on this side, it's got a reference card for what all the djinn do.
Right.
And we actually just got the BGG update, so instead of the controversial slave cards, we have the not so controversial, I believe they're called fakir.
Yeah.
But they're snake charmers.
Yeah, and he's sitting on a bed of nails.
Yeah.
Ouch.
That's the only way I know how to charm a snake, is to sit on a bed of nails. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense at all. But it also came with another djinn. So there's actually a djinn in here that doesn't come with the base game. Excellent. So how you play is, the first thing you do is you do the bidding. So you're going to bid, and the bids are all right here. So it's not a classic bid like I bid 1, I bid 2, I bid 3, because that's boring. Instead, what you do is you choose either 0 to 18 of your hard-earned coins. Well, not really, because you just gave you 50 at the beginning, but whatever.
It's like our capital.
Yeah.
Our investing capital.
The interesting thing is you can bid 0. But if she bids 0 and then she bids 0 again, the first pawn here doesn't stay. It slides down. And then if I were to bid 0 on top of that, it would push them all down. So you want to be the last person to bid 0, not the first person.
Mm-hmm. And once they're all full, you'd have to build 1.
That's right. Once you're done bidding, that's going to determine player order. So you start from here and go down, and that's the person who gets to go first. On your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to look around this board, this wondrous board, and you're going to pick up, a group of meeples from one of the tiles, and then you're going to place them out going horizontally or vertically in a row. So I could go 1, and then I could go, actually that wouldn't work. I could go 1, and then I could go 2, and then I could go 3. So it's kind of Mancala style, except instead of going around in a circle like a Mancala, you can kind of go horizontal and vertical all over the place. The only rule with that is the last place that you land, the meeple that you place there has to have meeples of that color on it, because that's the group that you're going to then take off. And we have all of our meeples laying down. It's recommended to have all of them laying down or all of them standing up, so that when you place your movement out, you can keep them like the opposite. Like the move I just made had them all standing up, because sometimes you might want to backtrack when you realize you're making a really bad move.
Right.
Anyway, what happens then is you take that color meeple out of your hand, and then each of the 5 meeples or tribes has a different effect. The yellow are the viziers, and you just keep those. And each vizier at the end of the game is worth 1 point. And then if you have more viziers than the other player, you get an extra 10 points. If you're playing in a 4-player game, the person with the most viziers gets 10 points for every other player they have more viziers than.
It's powerful.
So the more players there are, the more powerful these yellow ones get. And I'm just going to put these back before I forget what I had. So those are the yellow viziers. The white elders can be used on certain tiles to buy the djinn. And a lot of the times they tend to power the powers of the djinn. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the game, any elders you have left over are going to give you 2 points. There's no bonus for having the most of them. They're just whatever's left over you get points for. Then you have the green ones. The green ones are very interesting. They are the merchant tribe. So if you pick up a handful of the merchants, you look at how many merchants you have, and that's how many of the cards you get. Now when you're buying or getting cards, they start here and move that way. So if I have 3 merchants, I get the first 3. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. Good. Although I did deal them from this side, so does it matter? Just as long as you do it the same every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So those are the merchants. The next one are the blue ones. They are the builders. Thank you. Now the builders are also interesting because what you do is, let's say I ended my turn here and had 3 builders. I would take those 3 builders and then I would look at this tile, it's blue, and then every tile around it and count how many are blue. In this case it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd take 4 and multiply it by the number of builders.
Which is 3.
Yeah, which I could then spend some of my fakir to add to that number, and then you multiply them, and that's how much money you get. So if I took that 3, multiplied by 4, but then added 2 fakir to it, it would be worth 20 points. Cha-ching. Mm-hmm. Finally, there are the assassins, which are the red ones, and when you pick up some assassins, it means you can do one of 2 things. You can either assassinate one of the meeples that are on the board, and the range away from this tile would be how many assassins you just picked up. So if I picked up these 2, I could assassinate any one meeple up to 2 tiles away. Or you can actually assassinate another player's meeple. So if you had a bunch of the yellows and maybe we were tied for yellow, I could assassinate one of yours and you would lose it.
Yeah. Or the white ones.
Or the white ones, yeah. Another trick with the assassins is, let's say I go and do here and pick up some assassins and there's only this 1 white left. I can assassinate that guy as well. And by clearing a tile, you get to claim it with one of your camels. Right. So the assassins allow you to kind of manipulate the claiming of tiles.
Right.
Cool.
Which is the next thing.
Yeah.
How do you claim a tile?
After you're done taking the action of the meeples you've just picked up, the next thing you do is you check to see if that tile is clear. If it is, you get to take one of your camels and claim it. So it's like area control. Mm-hmm. If you have cleared a tile using the assassin's ability, you also get to claim that tile with a camel. So sometimes if you get a really good assassin move, you can get 2 tiles in 1 round.
Right.
It's awesome. The next thing you do is you check for the tile's action. Every tile has a different action. You got to do that as well. So for this one right here, you can spend an elder and then either another elder or a fakir, and you can buy one of the jinn. And the jinn give you special abilities, but they also give you points. The higher the point value of the jinn, usually the weaker the power. Mm-hmm. So there's a bit of a trade-off there. These ones here, whenever you activate that tile, it gets a palm tree. And palm trees are worth an extra 3 points at the end of the game to whoever controls that tile. So that's kind of nice. Just like the palm trees, these ones get palaces, and palaces are worth an extra 5 points per palace at the end of the game, whoever controls that tile. These right here, you can spend $6, and then you get 2 cards out of the first 6. And the interesting thing with that is if somebody has already bought some, it's not the 6 slots, it's the 6 cards. So when somebody buys some, it gives you access to the cards further in the back. Right. There's another very similar tile where you can spend $3 and get 1 card out of the first 3. And that is it.
Those are all the special powers, yeah?
Yeah. So first you do the meeple action, then you check to see if you can take control of the tile, then you do the tiles action, and then once you're done that, you have the optional choice of spending and selling any of your sets of merchandise. And normally that doesn't happen. Normally what you do is you hold on to that, because the more you have in a set, the better the chance of getting lots and lots and lots of points. Right. Yeah.
And the end game scoring.
Exactly.
Right. How do you trigger the end game?
The end game happens when one of 2 things happens. Either you look out here on the board and there's no moves left. And that can happen because, again, you can only move 1 per meeple, and the last meeple has to land on a tile that already has the same color. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you'll have meeples on the board, but there's just no moves left. So if that happens, game's over, and you move on to scoring. The other way is when somebody puts out their last camel, that also triggers the end of the game. Nice. And if somebody puts out their last camel, the other players still get a chance to do like one more move. Yeah. But if there's no more legal moves available on the table, like nobody can take a legal move, then the game's done. And then you do scoring. And that's when you take out this nice nifty pad of paper, and it's got all the scoring all the way down.
Yeah, great iconography on it.
Yep. The cards over here do not get filled until the end of each round. And the same thing with the gin. If gin get bought, you don't immediately fill them back up. You wait until the end of the round. And then basically what happens is we've done all this like bidding, and then as each person takes their turn, they go back out here in the order, and then that's the new order for the next round of bidding.
Right.
So very, very, very interesting.
And that's how you play 5 tribes. That's
5 tribes right there. All right, so we're going to set up for a game and do our playthrough.
Yep.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you in the next video.
Laters.